Hello, fight fans. Welcome to More Than a Fight Podcast. I'm your host, Jose Alfredo Alcázar. This is your co-host.
Juan.
Behind the camera, we have
John.
And this episode is going to be a little different. We're going to be touching on why we think Tank Davis will win this fight. Then we're also going to be doing a separate video as to why we feel Ryan Garcia will win the fight. And then later in the week, we'll actually give our actual picks and touch on the undercard. Let's kick it off. Juanillo, where do you want to start with Tank and as to why he's going to win this fight?
He's going to win because, I don't know. That's hard to say because, I mean, a lot of physical advantages I think Ryan does have.
Mm-hmm.
Power, I guess. He's a lefty. He seems to, no matter what, somehow, some way always pull it off, because I think he struggled in a few fights.
Mm-hmm.
But you've always said that he was studying his opponent, so maybe that is the case. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit there. What do you think, John?
Well, I think I agree with you, but also part of it is like who brought him up was Mayweather.
Yes.
And he was always a guy kind of started slow and then built up. I do think Garcia is going to win. I'm sorry, Davis is going to win, just in the fact that strength of schedule. There's much better opponents.
That's true.
And, I don't think he has been hit too hard. I mean, but just one, he doesn't have to cut as much weight. I mean, he did move up to 135 at one point, but
He's a small 135er, though.
yeah.
And Ryan's a big 135er.
What do you think, Bert?
Well, the reason I think Tank's going to win the fight is simple. And you touched on it right there. Opposition. His resume is much better. And he's been in there with more experienced fighters. Jose Pedraza being one. Isaac Pitbull Cruz being another. Yuriorkis Gamboa being another. Héctor García being another.
So which fight would you want to start off with talking about that?
We could go into even Jose Pedraza. Pedraza, when he fought him, was at the top of his game, and Tank beat him. And Tank was very young when he beat him too. Then you can go to present day. The most recent one was Héctor García, who was a very good opponent. I thought it was a great opponent to pick before fighting Ryan Garcia, because you're sharpening your skills against somebody like that who just became a champion. So it's not like Héctor García was some scrub. No, he had just won a title. So that gives you an idea of how good Tank is. Rolly is hard to really gauge. It'll depend what he does against Puello, but even against Rolly, he really timed him. I thought he was studying him, and it showed clearly with the knockout. Léo Santa Cruz, Juan's right, he was doing very well against Tank, but even against Léo, he was patient. He saw his opportunity, and there you go. That's exactly what happened. Out cold. And granted, yes, Santa Cruz was undersized, and yes, the bigger man will be Ryan Garcia, but I just think that Tank Davis isn't recognized enough for his ability to study his opponent, almost like Terrence Crawford does. Not to say that he's at that level, but he clearly is able to pinpoint his opponent's weaknesses as the rounds continue to progress, and then he does what he does, which is knock people out. Of course, Isaac Cruz has been his toughest fight to date. I think you would agree, Juanillo. I argue that he hurt his hand. I want to say midway through the fight, and had he not done that, it could have been a different type of fight. But that's just me.
I don't know. Cruz had good defense. He had that left that uppercut. He didn't really land it. He landed on the glove every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Cruz's aggression was a little problem for him too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. He did land some clean shots on Tank, but I personally still thought that Tank won the fight, and had he not hurt his hand, he might have done a little more damage to Isaac Pitbull Cruz. But I could be wrong. Cruz is still making his way back up and could get a title shot here soon.
Now, so where do you think Garcia I'm sorry, Davis catches Garcia. Like,
Well,
is
that's
he
a
going to
great
catch him
question.
with an uppercut?
No.
I mean, it's clear that Ryan Garcia can be can be dropped. Luke Campbell proved that. So I think if it happens, it'll be in around round 6 or 7. If Ryan gets a little lackadaisical
Or slows down.
or takes his eye off the ball. So I think around there is where it could happen. In the later rounds, I don't see it happening.
Not an uppercut though.
No.
Ryan stands up too straight.
Yeah. I think because Tank is a southpaw, he's going to catch him with that overhand when Ryan throws some type of jab, and Tank will counter with the overhand, and that's where he'll catch him.
But he is the shorter fighter. It's going to be harder to get that overhand.
He has long arms though.
Yeah, he does. He has some long arms for a little guy. But yes, that's why I think we feel that Tank Davis will win this fight. And again, we're going to do another video where we touch on why we believe Ryan Garcia will win the fight. And then we'll do a video with the complete card and our actual picks for that night. Thank you guys. Please let us know what you think. We're trying something new for this week because it is a massive fight. And of course, check out our social media. Like, comment, subscribe. And John?
Hey, just bleed.
Thanks, guys.